Nigeria has lasted several months, resulting in a lot of inconvenience for citizens. However, a sudden disappearance of long queues at petrol stations in Lagos seems to have raised hopes that things may soon return to normal. News Central's Ni Omoni reports that the Lagos state government has in the meantime stepped in to cushion the effect of the increased transport costs that drove the fuel scarcity. Here's this report.
Noting the significant effect of the recent petrol shortage in Lagos Southwest Nigeria, the Lagos state government directed operators of regulated bus and ferry services to recalibrate their ticket validators to effect a 50% fare cut. At the Falomo Jetty on Lagos Island, the fare cut seems to have been implemented, but for state-owned boats only.
I bought the cowrie. I have the cowrie card already. But when I say, let me just benefit from from what the government asked us to benefit from. I bought the card, but unfortunately, the boat is not enough.
Private boat passengers, however, do not get to enjoy the same luxury. Ola, a Lagos boat operator, explains.
I know the software for ferry. Any boat get our own now. I don't get boats to buy fuel. I can't get the use. Sometimes I go for this station. They don't go buy. They don't do the software for us.
I'm used to taking ferry anyway, but the fuel scarcity is depressing. I won't lie to you. That's just the word.
While many public transport operators have been forced to increase their prices, and some have had to reduce the number of services they are running, beneficiaries of the fare cut at state-owned bus terminals want more.
Actually, we usually pay 600, but with the 50% reduction, I think it makes a whole lot of sense.
It is good coming at this time when things are tough. It's difficult to have money, it's difficult to get money. Even if you have it in the bank, you can't come by it. So it's good. But the government can do more. That's what we are saying.
Although the fare cut has not directly impacted the queues and lengthy delays at petrol stations, the supply of petrol seems to be coming around.
What I've noticed is there's a bit of improvement. You get, but filling stations who have names, that's the popular ones like NNPC, Total. They've been selling. They've been considerably. They've been answering cars considerably. At normal rate. At normal rate, yes, at normal rate. Yeah. That's why usually their queues are usually more because they sell at normal rate. Unlike the other, maybe they call them independent marketers, those who don't really have popular names.
While the government is still monitoring how the masses are coping with a fare cut, residents beg and call on the government to do something about the fuel scarcity and, of course, the cash swap crisis in the country. Ni Omoni, reporting for News Central Lagos.
The Nigerian government has blamed distribution challenges for the biting petrol scarcity affecting citizens, while the cost of petrol in several states has skyrocketed following scarcity of the product. Nigeria's Minister of State for Petroleum Resources says the government is working to ensure petrol is delivered nationwide.
The Ministry of Petroleum is not in control of all the factors that lead to scarcity, in the sense that there are forex issues as well and other issues. But at the moment today, there is supply. But unfortunately, the distribution and movement of the product to various destinations is now, we are experiencing some bottlenecks. And I want to assure you that everything is being done, the NNPC Limited, NMDPRA, all the marketers, everybody's hand is on deck to ensure that this problem is resolved.
Now joining us live tonight in NC Continental Prime is Mukhtar Mohammed, the CEO of Asher Dynamics. He joins us from Lagos, Nigeria. Very good evening to you, Mukhtar. Now, Mukhtar, the members of the National Council of State have called on the Central Bank of Nigeria to reprint more of the new notes or return the old notes into circulation. What are your thoughts on this statement and latest development? Can you kindly mute your device, please?
My device is on mute already.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you very much.
So I think the statement came at the right time, but I have my concern about the statement by saying that they should recalculate the old note back to the system. As it stands now, I think the focus should be on the area the National Council of State said maybe they may have to increase the supply of the new notes. Remember that we are seeing about 1.9 trillion out of the banking space, and the CBN said they've printed just about 50% of that. So maybe they need to increase the redesign printing of a new Naira note into the economy. But I have my own take. I think it's more or less of a logistic challenge. Are we sure the Security and Printing Commission has all the power, all the facility to be able to print enough of the new Naira note? That's what they should be asking the CBN to give us. But as it stands now, I think the extension has not done any good. Rather, it has worsened the situation. So definitely, I think that is coming at the right time. But again, they need to take it further by adding actions into it, and CBN are the ones that will determine that. I think for now, they should focus more on giving us the new Naira note, because a lot of people don't want to even collect the old Naira note, and a lot of the old Naira notes are not even in the banking hall any longer. The banks will tell that they've sent it back to CBN. So it's more of an issue that the CBN need to come out clear and give us the way forward.
Now, Mukhtar, you feel it's logistics challenge. That's why we've not seen the wide circulation of this Naira note. I know it's political season, but a lot of theories have been put forward as the reason for this crisis in plans to phase out, for this crisis that we're witnessing today. What do you think is the problem beyond logistical problems? Do you think there's any political underlinings to this?
Well, there is. If you watch the body language of Mr. President when he said the new Naira note was as a result of security, also have to do with the economy and to make sure that elections are done properly. So definitely it's part of it. But if it's part of it, you know, definitely what we are seeing with the way the politicians are responding or attacking these new Naira notes, you definitely know that there's a political undertone. They see it more political than economical, especially the ruling party. Because in this case, we've seen the other parties going to court telling the federal government not to extend the deadline, and we've seen the ruling party fighting the ministers. I mean, fighting them, said that the policy should be outrightly cancelled for now. So definitely that tells you there's a political undertone according to them. And when you listen to some of them, like the governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, talks, you realize that he talks like if some people in the presidency are the one behind whatever that is to paint the APC in bad light in the minds of Nigeria. And just today again, the Kano State government is taking the federal government to court to halt the redesign of the new Naira note, despite the Supreme Court about to give judgment. I mean, maybe we look into the objection from the federal government on the 15th. So definitely you are saying that politicians are creating a lot of bottleneck to make sure that this policy does not see the light of the day. So you shouldn't be surprised, or you shouldn't be surprised when you see Nigerians saying that it is more political, especially when you know that Nigerian election is all about movement of cash.
Definitely political, whichever way you look at it. Now, Mukhtar, before I let you go, let's talk about the other lingering crisis, fuel. In the past few days, it has shown signs of easing out, but the approved pump price is not being enforced by the regulatory body in charge of this. What do you think the federal government, why do you think the federal government is not enforcing the pegged price?
I think it has to do with the former DPR. I think they are not doing what they ought to do, especially in other states. Some of them they concentrate in Lagos and Abuja, leaving other states. And even in Lagos, we have some petrol stations that were selling fuel as high as 350 naira and boldly put it there in their signposts, and nothing has happened. I think it's a pattern of lawlessness that shows that the regulators are not on top of their game. What I keep saying is that no independent marketer, or whatever they call themselves, have imported a single liter of petroleum product into this country. Every liter of petroleum product were imported by NNPC, and every Nigerians pay subsidy for every liter of petroleum product that finds its way into this country. So definitely they are selling at that price at the cost of every Nigerian. I think the regulators need to up their game. But you know, they came up and said it was a depot issue. And if you get what NNPC said now, I said, okay, if that is a challenge, can you come and load directly for NNPC? That shows that they were right when they said most of the depots were selling at a higher cost. But like you in your report pointed out, the situation is easing off. But definitely, I think it started easing up when NNPC started talking, because up to last week, NNPC have not said anything about the situation. That showed that they knew they were not in control, and they are talking now because they know they are in control. Just within a week that they've been talking, you've seen that the queues are beginning to disappear. They've even totally disappeared in Abuja, and we are beginning to see that happen in Lagos. So maybe we should beg the NNPC to talk more when we have crisis, so that we have solution to it early.
Man, it went on for too long, and looking at the things that happened, is the storm over, or are we working towards complete deregulation of the petroleum industry in Nigeria?
The storm is not over. We'll always come through this cycle until we deregulate. That's the truth. Because if you look at the state governors, if you look at the federal government, they've all pointed out that deregulation is the way forward. And so there's no, and I think is the way forward, whereby we have to buy fuel at international price. But again, with deregulation comes the challenge, because we are not locally refining. But fortunately for us, we expect that the Dangote refinery, which is the largest refinery in the world, will start production anytime soon. So that will also help. Doesn't mean that Dangote refinery will not be buying crude at international price, but the cost of crude oil in Nigeria have jacked up, especially the refined petroleum product, jack up when immediately enter the sea, the international sea, especially Nigerian sea water. So that will be reduced. Then we may have a cost not as high as it should be when we are importing this product into the country. Okay. So definitely the way forward is to deregulate. I can tell you that we might see the easing of, maybe because of the election. The NNPC have assured INEC, have assured Nigeria, so they will do everything possible. After the election, are we going to see something like this happening again?
We hope not.
If the history is anything to go by, it has always been like that.
We hope not, Mukhtar. Thank you very much for your time, insights and contribution, Mukhtar Mohammed, CEO of Asha Dynamic Solutions. Thanks for joining us on NC Continental Prime.
Pleasure.